and welcome back to Dinner and a Show, the show where we talk about movies over a nice little bunch of dinner. I'm Brian.
I'm Tanner. It's midnight right now.
It is midnight. It is very late.
I'm fried.
I was struggling to stay awake during this movie, but it is a good movie, so I stayed awake for it.
Tonight we're going to review Psycho. It's the Alfred Hitchcock classic, and it was your first time seeing it.
My very first time seeing it. Now, I mean, it's been spoiled for me, so I kind of knew the spoiler.
Yeah.
But
like the shower scene is so iconic. Norman Bates' identity is legendary now.
For you people that are not millennials, you kids out there,
I have 2 working VCRs in this house.
that's called a VC or a VHS tape, and we put them in VCRs where we played them, and we had to rewind the film to watch it.
Hey, you see this? This means it's not rewound. When it's on the reverse side, when it's empty like that, that means it's rewound ready to play.
And for dinner, I don't know what you brought, if you brought anything or...
Actually, you know what? I'm not very hungry, actually.
Okay. Well, in case you have a change of heart, I have these little Rice Krispie cubes for you. Rice Krispie treats.
Those look good.
And no, Havoc, you're not going to eat my sandwich, which I got over at the Come and Go gas station. No sponsor at all. Just love the food. Hopefully, it looks good, so I'm gonna eat it.
I got hungry midway through, and I made toast with jelly on it. It was tasty. It was during the scene when they were eating sandwiches too.
I know, it was like a coincidence.
No. Subliminal messaging?
Havoc, no! Don't get away from her.
Sorry about your...
And a banana.
Yeah, sorry about
And a V8. There's not a sponsor. I didn't even know that, was it Mary Kane? Crane. She was...
Marianne Crane.
Yeah, Marianne Crane. She died in the middle of the movie.
Pretty good.
I was not expecting that at all.
It's a pretty good move to kill off pretty much kill off the star before the first half is even over.
You have to have enough engaging characters to enjoy the rest of the movie.
Yeah, it was.
And I think they did that really well, especially with Norman Bates. You never knew what he was going to do.
It's a brilliant performance by Anthony Hopkins. It's just perfect. Like all the little movements that he does, all the little subtleties that he brings to the character, his little twitches here and there. He kind of behaves like a bird, which is fitting because he has taxidermy all over his office. There's a bunch of stuffed birds hanging on the walls.
Oh yeah, that was an absolutely good description of his character. You could always tell that he seemed in this conversation, he always seemed unpredictable.
Yeah, he's very nervous, he's very awkward, very twitchy, and you just have to wonder what his deal is.
Mm-hmm.
You get hints of what he's been through and what he's going through, like in that house next to the motel that he owns, and it's just there's a lot of brilliant layers to the performance that I just admire the more I watch it, because the more I watch it after I already know the big twist at the end, it's just more fascinating that way.
I really liked the use of audio.
Oh yeah,
in the movie, especially
great sound design.
Especially the dialogue, how they used it to kind of tell the story. Because I think the sequence where Marianne Crane was driving away.
Right, and she's imagining what people who witnessed her are probably saying right now, because she feels really guilty having stolen the money and running away with it. And there are people who know where she's going, and other people who know that just the fact that she stole money and she's leaving town with it, she's wondering what she's done, how she can get out of it, and is there a way out of it? And her conscience is just eating at her.
And you just kind of hear echoes of the imaginary conversations in her head.
Yeah, and great acting by Janet Leigh too, because she has to act with just her face. She's able to pull it off.
Yeah, now I don't know if they read lines to her during that time, so that she could have a better deal or not.
If we're going by the movie,
either way,
if we're going by the movie Hitchcock, that's the a 2012 movie starring Anthony Hopkins. It's about the making of Psycho, a fictionalized telling of the making of Psycho. Apparently, Hitch gave her direction as they were shooting, like saying, "You're feeling this, you're feeling that, you're feeling guilty, you feel like you made a mistake, it's too late to turn back. You know that." It's just like, and she pretty much has to feel it as she's hearing all this.
Oh yeah.
If that's the way it was done, that's pretty good. I'm not going to interpret like everything in that movie as fact, obviously.
Yeah.
Because I know that he didn't really scare Janet Leigh in the shower, like pretending to stab her or everything. But
Yeah.
I'm not going to look at the possibility though.
Yeah, it's Alfred Hitchcock.
Basically, it's about a woman who wants a better life for herself, and she wants to marry this guy, like who she often meets every now and then. She wants to marry him. She gets a handle like a bunch of money that she's supposed to take to the bank, and instead she runs off of it. She's going to
Yeah, it's
find
like
a
her
guy.
opportunity to have a new life.
Yeah. And on the way over there, she stops at this motel, meets this guy named Norman Bates, and that's pretty much where I would stop if I was describing the story.
Yeah. She meets a strange man
Secrets are
in
revealed.
a hotel.
Bodies mount. There are murders. There are lives in jeopardy. And yeah.
And lots of chocolate syrup.
Yeah, these
AKA blood.
yeah, they use chocolate syrup for blood. Like the film is in black and white. Hitchcock.
You're not touching that camera, cat.
Music.
Music.
Yeah,
Another iconic score
absolutely.
for a horror movie.
I heard that Hitchcock actually increased the composer's salary.
Like
because,
doubled his salary.
Yeah, because he knew that like much of what made Psycho as effective as it was due to the power of the score.
Yeah, absolutely. It was great. And I'm trying to think what else. Camera work was actually, it felt pretty modern for its time. I would say, like there were a lot of, like sure, some editing choices felt, like it was aged, like in the 50s and stuff. But overall, I think that how things were shot and the editing style definitely felt like it was ahead of its time. And that was really cool. So I can only imagine how the audience reacted to that kind of movie. Overall, I think this film was really good, and I think it's
The original.
Yeah, the original. Sorry, not the remake. We talked a lot about the remake, but we watched the original.
Yeah.
I would say that the original has stood the test of time.
Oh yeah.
As a thriller, a suspense movie, a horror film. Definitely a very smart and intelligent one.
There is one thing I don't like about the movie, and I'm sure everyone else picked on this before, but for good reason, because we've come a long way long since then. It's a scene where the psychiatrist is pretty much spelling out word for word what went into Norman's head, why this happened, how it happened, etc., and so on. And I feel like parts of that was necessary, but as he continues, it's more like something that people would want to discuss after they've seen the movie. And this was a time when a lot was revealed, and you had to let everyone know that this was this, that was that, instead of just leaving things open for interpretation most of the time. And this one is just an entire dialogue scene, and
it didn't really leave you.
Like I said, most of it's fine. Most of it was necessary. The way it started. Norman no longer exists. It's the mother, and blah blah blah. But when he tries to interpret what he must have felt at the time, that's where I set aside, basically.
Alfred Hitchcock kind of directed us to think a certain way.
Yeah,
I would say in the ending. It's why he did stuff, and I was okay, which is kind of unusual because, like I mentioned earlier, there are certain actions or even certain characters in movies that are open to interpretation, or open for discussion, and in the ending, he didn't really leave a lot of room for that. So, Anyway, it's an interesting choice, but it's his movie, so he decided to go about that way for writing, and so I'm like, okay. And I did like the ending where they pull the car out of the mud.
Yeah, and then it just says the end.
Yeah, it was a pretty fitting ending for the movie.
Yeah.
But overall, hey, it was real fun. My first exposure to it. I was quite curious that it was an R rating, but then again, this was made in like 1960 or 1959, around that time.
Well, it was released in 60.
Yeah, so the rating system was a little more strict back then. So yeah, if you look at it now, you'd think, why the heck is this R? But
It's definitely not a G, that's for sure.
it's not a G, definitely. Maybe I could imagine it being PG.
This was back when it was either like a general audiences, or you have to have an adult or guardian with you.
Yeah. There are a lot of fun facts with Psycho. I would suggest you look them up. Tanner was telling me a few, and they're really fun. So there's a lot of history behind the film. Go watch it. I'll give it a high five, a really good high five. Tons of fun. It's a good movie for any movie buff to watch, and a perfect film for Halloween.
I sort of went through this last week, like when we were talking about Halloween, and we discussed the flaws, and yet this film basically deserves a high five, but like with Halloween, I sort of ignore like most of the flaws, like the more times I watch it. Like sometimes like I'll notice the flaws, but I don't let them like overall diminish the impact that it leaves on me. So like I give Psycho a secret handshake, much like I did with Halloween, but
Yeah, I mean it
at the same
deserves
time
it.
it's like, yeah, it's more like I think I'm more rating films on a personal level than a critical level. Basically.
I'll do that for
So,
a
like
few.
Like I already said that like Psycho has one big flaw, like the psychiatrist speech at the end, and we already talked about like the flaws with Halloween last week. I still get that a secret handshake because of the overall impact it has on me. Same thing with Psycho.
Yeah. Hey, people have vote for their favorite movies on a personal level too.
Yeah.
That's why people could keep seeing Transformers.
Well,
No.
we'll talk about that.
Yeah. Why do people keep seeing it? No.
Down boy.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that some other time.
Oh yeah. Thank you guys for watching this. This is great. We had a great time watching it and sharing our thoughts with you. Be sure to subscribe and like, comment, and share. Like, comment, and share with your friends.
I'm Tanner.
I'm Brian. Hopefully I don't die. And we'll see you next time.